Okay, students. So, standard 7. We will be continuing our chapter number 18, Water on Earth of Social Studies. Now, giving some of the introduction that our Earth consists almost 3/4 proportion of water. That means almost 71 percentage of water. In this water, there are two types of the categories. First one is fresh water and second is saline water. The fresh water which contains 97 2 and 1. So what do you mean by 97 2 and 1? 97 means the 97 proportion of the water which contains of the salt which is not useful for the drinking purpose. We cannot consume that. 2. The 2% it suggests that the glacier form, the water is in the form of glacier, and the rest 1% suggests that it is useful for the drinking purpose. So here fresh water contains two more categories. First is groundwater, second is surface water. So these are the two main categories of the sources of water. From where do we get the water? First one is groundwater. Groundwater means below to the 20,000 feet of the surface of the earth. Underneath it, we get water by digging it. So this will be known as the groundwater. And the second is surface water, rivers, lake, ponds, well. Okay. So in this water, surface water, we are not supposed to dig it. We get easily water on the surface of the land. So next is saline water. What do you mean by saline water and what is salinity? First of all, the water which contains highly proportion of the salt is known as saline water, and salinity means the proportion of the salt which contains in the water. So here 1 kilogram of the ocean water if we take. Okay. So in this 1 kg, you can see in our textbook this example is also given 35 gram of salt contains. So you can check that. Next is oceans. There are 5 types of oceans. So we are going to study further about the oceans. Okay, students. So now the types of oceans. There are major 5 oceans of the world. So they are Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic and Antarctic. Pacific. The features. The Pacific Ocean is largest and deepest of all oceans in the world. So you can just check that Pacific as we have discussed. So the Pacific Ocean is largest and deepest. The total area covers is more than the sum total of the area covered by the continents. There are 7 continents. So you can sum it up the total area, and the Pacific Ocean covers more area than the total of 7 continents. Several islands are also found in the Pacific Ocean, and most of them are volcanic in nature. They contain high proportion of volcanic. Mariana Trench, which is located on the shore of Philippines, is the deepest point, that is 11,034 meter below the sea level, and the location you already know that it is bordered by North and South America and with Australia, Asia on the west. Now we will be doing about Atlantic Ocean. This is the second largest ocean. This is the second largest ocean in the world. It is also busiest ocean since many shipping routes pass through this ocean. This is the key point or the key element of the Atlantic Ocean. Here in this example, if you concentrate Indian Ocean, here India is located and many other countries are there. This is Atlantic Ocean. Now, many of the countries are supposed to trade with the developed countries such as America. They want to make the business with them. So, Australia, Africa, India, They only can move through the Atlantic Ocean. So this is the proportion, this is the part which is the busiest one, which is suggested in this topic. The mid-Atlantic ridge is a special feature of this ocean. It is a long underwater ridge stretching from north to south between America and Europe. Cape Town, Canada, Brazil, Ireland are some of the important ports of Atlantic. Location: it is S-shaped with North and South America lying on west and Europe and Africa on the east. So in each and every part of the ocean you are supposed to remember its location. It merges with the Pacific and Indian Ocean in the south, and in the north it extends up to the Arctic Circle. Gulf of Mexico, Mediterranean Sea, Caribbean Sea are located here. So this was the detailing about the Atlantic Ocean. Now we will be going further to Indian Ocean. So what is the feature of the Indian Ocean? This is the third largest ocean in the world, and it is also the warmest of all the oceans. Its location make a triangular shape. Which shape? Triangular shape. The Sunda Trench, which is about 7,700 meters below the sea level, is the deepest point in this ocean. So before starting the location, you are supposed to mark it up, or you are supposed to write down the deepest point of the ocean. एक ocean है तो उसका deepest point और उसका name and the meter. In the previous one we discussed 11,034 meter was the deepest point. So now the location. On the west it is bordered by Africa. On the east of it lies Australia. Africa and Australia. Okay. The north, it extends to form two water bodies, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. The continent of Asia lies to its north, with India lying right at the head of ocean. It merges with Pacific and Atlantic Ocean in the south direction. Atlantic and Pacific, it gets to merge. Now Arctic Ocean features. This is the smallest ocean. Most of the which remains covered with the snow throughout the year. Throughout the year it is covered with snow, and it is the smallest ocean. During summer, when the ice melt, big pieces of ice break down and create icebergs. And now the location. It is located around the North Pole. To the Asia south of the ocean lie North America, Europe and Asia. It merges with Atlantic Ocean between Greenland and Scandinavia. Okay, this was the introduction about the Arctic Ocean, which is the smallest ocean and covered with snow throughout the year, and which creates icebergs. Now further moving on, Antarctic Ocean. Features and its location. The other name of the ocean is Southern Ocean. You are supposed to remember. Every ocean has its own feature or own characteristics. Some of are having smallest ocean, some of them having the other name. The water body which surrounds the continent of Antarctica is referred to the Antarctic Ocean. This is actually an extension of the Pacific, Atlantic and Indian. These are the three oceans having its extension. So these were the oceans. So first of all, the primary information you are supposed to read is that Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic and Antarctic. And 7 continents we have already studied about: Australia, Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, North America and Antarctica. Now we are moving further to seas. Water bodies which are smaller than oceans in size are called sea. What do you mean by sea? the water bodies which are smaller than ocean in size. A sea can be partially surrounded by land. These are generally the extension of ocean which are created. Extension means which are being created, the ocean. For example, the Caribbean Sea is an extension of Atlantic and the South China Sea is an extension of Pacific Ocean. So here there are two more points. Caribbean Sea is an extension of Atlantic Ocean. South China Sea is an extension of Pacific. There are some other seas which are fully surrounded by the land like Black Sea and Caspian Sea. And this is the case study of Dead Sea. What do you mean by Dead Sea? Dead Sea is that sea which having the more proportion of salt. This is the saltiest water body which is found on earth. You can see that this is the saltiest water body. Our body can that float on in the sea. So this is the case study about the Dead Sea. So now we are going to the further point, that is importance of oceans and seas. They are home to variety of marine animals and plants. Most important, home of variety of marine animals and plants which provides livelihood to the many people across the globe. They serve as a chief source of water which facilitate the precipitation, humidity, since maximum amount of evaporation takes place in the ocean water. The process of evaporation takes place on the ocean water. Where the water proportion is high, there the evaporation will be more. Trade and commerce is facilitated by oceans which provide waterways to carry the goods. See, the first point, key point was this, I have made the box. Second is precipitation and humidity and evaporation takes place. Third is waterway which carries the goods. Fourth is the water in seas and ocean can be desalined and the salt can be extracted. So you are that the oceans and the seas are helpful to make the salt. Salt is excreted. Now second, vast mineral deposits are found. Yes, mineral deposits are found on the ocean beds which are useful for industrial and commercial growth. So this was the fifth point. And then now last one is ocean and sea water is also a great source of generation of electricity, that is by hydroelectricity. Okay, so we are completing this chapter over here.